No, this video is not late because I was addicted to playing Digimon Story Time Stranger all day. Look. Y'all got enough days left. It's like 2 days left or a day and some change for you to get this top 1% emblem. I got y'all hooked, okay? I got it handled. So, first things first, before I give y'all the tips on how you supposed to get 1% in every activity, there's some fundamental groundwork we got to lay down for you to understand, for you to do that, okay? First things first, season pass. Some people don't know this, but the season pass in Destiny, the rewards pass, it gives you a 15% score bonus. Okay, it gives you a 15% score bonus. This does apply to the call to arm event, because the call to arm event point system is still utilizing the portal point system on regular activities. So that's why it's hard for Bungie to implement something for players when it comes to making everybody fair in this competition, because the event is tied to the structure of the portal. So it wasn't really much they can do about it. But you need the season pass, because season pass gives you 15% score bonus. I don't know why you wouldn't buy the season pass. It's only $10 for like 3-4 months of having it and to give you hella materials. So I don't understand why you wouldn't buy the season pass if you're a consistent, dedicated Destiny player. But yeah, you want to have the season pass for that increased score bonus. And then you also get the other stuff too, like getting Callus done quick and Prime Ingrams, Glimmer, XP. I don't understand why you wouldn't have the season pass. But hey, your money, okay? Your money, your problem. But you want to have a season pass for the 15%. If not, you're going to be scoring way less than other players, and that's probably why you see other players scoring more than you, even though you have the exact same setup and everything. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, you need to be at least power level 451. 451. Because in the portal, there's a thing right here. Score multiplier. Score multiplier goes up based on what's your power level. You get the max multiplier based on your max power. Bungie did implement a change, so you don't have to worry about getting to diamond right here you see on my screen. You don't have to worry about getting 550 to get the diamond 5 score multiplier in the game. You don't have to worry about that. But you do have to worry about having ultimate difficulty unlocked. Ultimate difficulty unlocks at 451. You want to be 470 so you're not negative 50 power delta while doing it, but 451 unlocks this difficulty. Why is this difficulty important? It's important because this is where you're able to put on the highest score multipliers in the event. You do not have like deadly stasis threat in Grandmaster. Grandmaster don't have that, okay? You only got difficult stasis threat. So you want to be able to do ultimate difficulty so that you can turn on the highest score multipliers in the game before you get the highest points. And then of course you'll throw on the highest one. So you'll put on deadly stasis threat, and then you'll put on the force like grounded, freaking slow and small, glass cannon, and then you'll throw on like, you know, all weapon famine, whatever crap, and then you'll throw on a bane. And that same thing goes for down here too. Grandmaster don't have pressure cooker that you gotta throw on, and you want to make sure you have Touche on. You want to make sure you have on no starting ammo, bronze, and then you want to make sure you have on extinction that you can only put on while you're in ultimate. Okay, so you want to make sure you're at least 451 to be able to do ultimate difficulty. And since we're here, since I did show you guys what's all the modifiers you will have on for scoring high, you also want to put on boons. And the boons you want to go for in this activity, in this event, is either Arc Surge or Solar Surge, depending on what subclass route you go with this. But or Strand Surge. You will go with one of these surges to buff up your damage of your melee build. You will be using Brawler to increase your melee damage and make your melee come back quicker. And then you'll have on Full Throttle that increase all your damage based on getting kills without dying. You can't die anyway because you got Extinction on, because if you die you wipe. So this buffs your damage about 100%, I believe, if you get 100 enemy kills. This buff up your melee damage, and this buff up your melee damage even more based on what element of the melee you're using. This would be in general this would be how your thing will look for doing a portal activity, okay, for the higher score multiplier for said event that you're doing for a call to arms for the 1%. You have to have all this stuff on. There's no debate about it. This is how your thing gonna look, okay? Which is super easy, because the next groundwork I'm laying out for you guys is builds. If you're a hunter, you will be rocking the arc build, which you see I got on right now, with Gifted Conviction, and you'll be spamming combination blow with Tempest Strike. That's what you'll be spamming. You'll be spamming the Gifted Conviction build for hunters on arc. Like I just showed you guys, you have Arc Surge on, Brawler, Full Throttle, and you'll just be mowing the enemies down with this build. And you'll have on Legend of Accurist to deal with like bosses or whatnot, or Finale's Augur if you want to shoot in air. But Legend of Accurist just goes perfect with this build with the Arc Surge, and you got a melee to get Trench Barrel unlocked with the Catalyst, and yeah, just dumb damage, okay? This is what you will run on a hunter, no other build, okay? You will not use any other build. This is the go-to build if you're trying to go for that 1%. If you're a Titan, for Titan, you got 2 builds you're going for. And Gifted Conviction is a feature exotic. You got to run feature exotic for this 1% to put Touche on. Okay, Titans, you got 2 options here. You'll either run Worm God Caress, and you will run Hammerbonk Titan, where basically you're running Solar Titan, and you just throwing your hammer all day at enemies and one-shotting them because you have Brawler on, Solar Surge on, and Full Throttle as your boons in the activity. And you literally just be running to the enemies, just throwing your hammer at them and one-shot them non-stop while you get stacks of Worm God Caress. You'll run a melee build, so you make sure your melee stat is at 200. And yeah, that's simple. That's the first build you can go for as a Titan. And the second build you go for a Titan, if you're not a fan of that, another good build is Wishful Ignorance with Strand Titan. You're legit just go in there, do the Flesh and Storm, whatever in the air, doing the Wolverine Claws at enemies in the air, and you'll be one-shotting all the enemies. You have Banner War on, increasing your melee damage. You got your melee stat up. You got Strand Surge on, Brawler on, Full Throttle, and you're one-shotting the enemies and killing the boss very quick. Those are 2 routes a Titan can take. And then Warlocks, y'all only have one option in this event. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that works very like consistent, and that would be Fellwinter Helm. You'll be running Prismatic, and you'll be spamming Lightning Surge, Arc Surge. Lightning Surge is your aspect in Prismatic. You'll be running Arc Surge, Brawler, Full Throttle, just like Hunter. You're just running Fellwinter Helm and spamming Lightning Surge on Prismatic in your kit, okay? It could be argued you could go a grenade build with Warlocks. You could go with Fallen Sunstar, which gives your abilities back quicker on Arc, and you can run Arc Souls and Iron Sentry on a pure Arc build for Warlocks, and you'll put on Arc Surge as a boon, Grenader instead of Brawler as your boon, and Full Throttle, and you'll just be relying on your Arc Soul and your Iron Sentry one-shotting and killing enemies non-stop for you, while Fallen Sunstar give your abilities back quicker. And I guess you got one more build, which is Controversial. You can just run a Void build with Axion Bolt, and you'll put on Void Surge, Grenader, and Full Throttle, and you literally just go into a room, do your Chaos Accelerant, Axion Bolt Grenade, and you would just kill every enemy in the room, one-shot them, and just spam your grenade non-stop because you would never run out of it. That's the three routes a Warlock can take. I'll be honest with you, okay? The best routes you can take. Eunonia ain't gonna be killing quick enough in my opinion. And you could argue Starfire, where you just throw fusion grenades all day and in one shot. But Axion Bolts gets the job done way quicker on Void than Solar, if I'm just being frank with you, okay? But I mean, you could, if you fast enough, you could still get away with it. Helion helping you out on Solar. But that's the builds you will be running in this activity. Now that I laid the groundwork down, you know what builds you're running, you know you got to have the season pass, you know what power level you need to be at. Let's get into the nitty gritty now. First thing, oh yeah, one more groundwork. Time. When you do portal activities, you get bonus points for beating it in a certain amount of time. When you beat it in a certain amount of time, you get 25% extra points, 25% extra points to your final score, right? And I think if you go a little bit faster, they give you extra points. But the faster you beat it before that time, you get in a multiplier. And if you beat it below that time, it's a scalar. you get 25% bonus points, but as the time starts going down, you start losing that multiplier to your score, and it drops to the minimum of 5%. If you know, if you don't run out of time. If you run out of time, then 0%. Okay. Now, what's the time you're trying to go for to get the max time, right? Max points, right? The max time you're going for is 25% of whatever time is the activity. So, for example, if Salt Mines mission said beat it in 10 minutes, if the timer says 10 minutes on your screen, 25% of 10 minutes is 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, so that means to get the max time score multiplier bonus points you get at the end of the mission, in order to get the max time bonus score for beating the mission, you have to beat the mission within 7 minutes and 50 seconds, meaning before 3 minutes hit on the clock. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. You have to beat the mission before 3 minutes and 10 seconds hit the clock on your screen, on the bottom right, whatever. Okay, and that rule works for every mission. So that works for Coil, Proving Grounds, all of that. Yeah, they got different times, like Coil's like 50, 45 minutes, whatever. Proving Grounds like 20 minutes, something like that, right? The same math work, 25% of whatever time it is, and that's what you got to beat. That's how quick you got to beat the mission in that time limit. Okay, you have to do the math for yourself. Now, how to get 1% in all the activities, and we started with the Coil. In order to get top 1%, a high score in the Coil, is you have to beat it before the time thing, like I told you guys. The main thing that accumulates to your score in the Coil is these little prisms on the ground. These right here. Okay, the game doesn't show you it giving you score, right? That's because Bungie did not implement this in the activity, sadly. But basically, every activity you're playing, they still work the original way, like they work inside the portal when it comes to how to get score for that activity. So when the Coil first came out, the way you play Coil was get a high score, and the only way to get a high score with the Coil was beating it fast and getting score points, okay, from getting them little prisms I just showed you guys off the ground. So when you're playing the Coil, not only do you want to beat it within that 25% time schedule I just told you guys, you want to make sure you're breaking every pot, because they hold these prisms in it for your score. The more of these you pick up before the end of your Coil run, the more points you will have at the end of the Coil. And not only is the pot not the only thing that has the goddamn prisms in it, the enemies do too. So you're basically forced to kill every enemy and shoot every pot while you're trying to speed run the Coil. Now the Coil is easy to beat within the time limit, so all you really do is just need to make sure you and your team is working very optimal and shooting every pot that you see, so y'all can get these prisms to increase your final score in this activity. And like I said, you want to make sure you kill every enemy, because even enemies drop them prisms on the ground. So, and you don't know which ones. It's just random. Some of the rare ones drop it. You want to make sure you go to these secret rooms, because they drop these prisms, like I said, you got to pick up. So that's the whole premise of getting a 1% in the Coil. Killing every enemy, shooting every little pot, and pick up every prism that you see on the ground while you're speed running. You got to make sure you kill the glass collector, because the glass collector drops a lot of prisms. So if you don't kill that glass collector, you hold your whole run. You got to start all over. Okay, so that's how you get top 1% in the Coil. How to get 1% in the Proving Grounds is time bonus, like I said, time bonus for everything, and killing every enemy. Okay, Proving Grounds is difficult getting the top 1% because of the time restraint. You and your team gotta be playing very optimal, taking roles inside the mission, multitasking, telling someone else to take care of a side of enemies while you focus on a different side of enemies. Tell your teammates to kill the enemies while you keep running forward to pick up an orb or something. Proving Grounds is probably super hard because of the time restraint. But not only that, some people ignore all the enemies inside the Proving Grounds. So in the tank room, for example, If you end up killing the mini boss in the tank room before killing all the red names, the red name enemies will end up despawning. And what does that mean? That means that you missed out on a lot of points because you didn't get to kill them red names. So, and the same thing goes for the boss. If you kill the boss too quick without killing the champions or the enemies, then they will despawn and you won't get points for them. So, Proving Ground probably the hardest in my opinion on getting a 1%, because you know you have to kill every enemy, and if someone F up on your team, end up killing a mini boss before y'all kill all the enemies, they despawn. You gotta do the whole mission over. And while you're thinking about killing every enemy, you also gotta beat it within the time limit to get the time score bonus. So yeah, Proving Ground is all about all enemy kills and time, beating it fast. And Banes and champions give you the most points. Okay, so if you end up missing a Bane or end up missing a champion, just restart your run, because you're not going to score that high. I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm not going inside Crucible to show you, but cutting edge zone control. If you want 1% in Crucible PvP, it's super simple. I know some people be like, "It's Crucible. How is it simple?" The way to do it is simple. You know, it's all RNG based on what type of match you get in. But PvP Crucible, all you gotta do, and I know it's gonna hurt some PvP souls, is play objectively correct. Oh, I know that hurt some of y'all. Some of y'all love just running around and farming kills. You gotta play objectively correct, and it's an easy 1% in Crucible. Capture as many zones as possible and get your kills while you catching these zones, and I promise you, you'll get 1% easily. Okay, you want to get these red medals that you get at the end of the match. If you get at least 3 of those red medals, you're in the top 1%. Easy as that. And playing objectively correct is the best way to get those red medals. So yeah, capture zones while you're inside Crucible. Capture as many zones as possible and kill people while you're doing it, while you're defending them and whatnot. I kind of lied. Salt Mines is the hardest 1% to get. I'm sorry, I was talking about Fire Team wise. Salt Mine is the hardest 1% to get simply because of RNG. In this mission, you have to kill a high value target that is RNG on spawning, right? And it may not even spawn from me trying to show you guys. Where basically you won't get 1% unless you kill him during your run, okay? And while you killing him, he has a time limit on when he despawns. So you want to have Legend of Acarius on, or have like Titan, Hammer Bonk Titan on, to really kill him super quick before he despawns. And while you're in the process of doing that, you still got to worry about beating the mission quick. You still got to worry about doing your side objective. If you don't do your side objective, you still will not get a high score. Side objective is like the one you see on my side of my screen that says get weapon kills. You will want to spawn in here whenever it says ability kills or combatant kills, so that you can just spam your melees all day and kill enemies without wasting time shooting your weapon, because again, you're still on a time limit on trying to beat this quick so that you can get a high score, right? So this is the hardest one. You got to make sure the side objective is done. You got to make sure you find the high value target in here, because if not, you got to reset your whole run. So you may be resetting your run just for the side objective to meet up to what you need. And you got to beat this within a time limit, which is super tight. It's not super tight if you do what I say with the modifiers. It's not super tight. Super easy to do, to be honest. But you have to beat this within 3 minutes and 10 seconds on your clock. I think this was a 10-minute mission. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the mission says 11 minutes or 12 minutes, whatever crap. If it does, you still have to beat this very quick. You got to beat it within like 4 minutes on the clock, left on the clock still. Last but not least, Heliostat. Heliostat is the most straightforward, easiest one to get top 1%. Because all you have to do is speedrun. That's it. Enemy kills don't matter. You don't have to find no objectives to do or pick up something off the ground. None of that. Heliostat is literally speed run and get it done as quick as possible. And there's a cheese strat in the first room if you're using like Stasis Warlock or Stasis Hunter. Speedrun strats, you know, would be like whatever team you got, y'all split up on certain jobs y'all do. So the room with the 3 switches, y'all all take a room and y'all all take a different room and y'all take turns doing y'all little switch. When it comes to the big room where y'all gotta hit the buttons, the 2 buttons, y'all split up in 2 different groups and y'all do the buttons separately. When y'all in the final boss room, y'all making sure that y'all all get the Radiolarian thing at the beginning so the Scion don't waste his time waiting all day. Y'all can get both rooms done so the boss come out and then y'all can speed run the boss easily by killing the Wyvern quick and speed blitzing the boss. So it's all about efficiency. Everybody in the team doing a role while someone else does a different role. Y'all multitask, y'all can speed run as quick as possible. And that's how you get 1% on every activity and with ease. You know, I told y'all the builds, I told y'all the fundamentals. The only thing I didn't give y'all is a PvP build, but if you're a PvP player, then you already know what builds you can use. Okay, it's literally that easy to get 1%. If you follow what I just told you on how the 1% works in each activity, I can promise you, as long as you beating it fast enough and following what I just told you, you will get the emblem with ease. You will pick whatever activity you're more comfortable with speed running. In the coil, get all them shards, break all them pots, kill all them enemies, pick every prism off the ground. Do not leave one. Get every prism off the ground in the coil. Proving ground, kill every enemy while you speed running, and y'all multitask, separate y'all roles so y'all keep moving throughout the strike as quick as possible. Do not let any enemy despawn because y'all killed the mini boss too quick, especially in that tank room. Make sure every enemy, red name enemy, is dead before you kill that yellow name mini boss in the middle. Okay, the mini boss comes out after the 2 tanks. Okay, so make sure you paying attention. And then freaking healer stat is just speed running. Just go as quick as possible and you got it with ease. Just separate roles. Like I said, y'all separate roles for each other. Try to go through it quick and do some speed run strats like some cheesing and stuff, or jumping across certain gaps quicker and stuff. You will get top 1%. And then last but not least, salt mines. You already know it's RNG, but as long as you speed run it, do your side objective and kill that high value target. If he spawn for you, you will have that top 1%. And remember, you only need 1% in one of the activities. Only one. So pick which one you're comfortable with and get that emblem. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up.